All right, guys, so in this video, we are with James and David. We're going to introduce them here in a second, but we're going to be covering basically AI agents that you could implement into your funnel or clients' funnels to scale your business. James is using AI agents right now, and he's booking appointments, and he's selling AI. So introduce yourself, tell these people what you do, how long we've been working together,
Yeah.
and introduce yourself as well, David. Let's hit it.
James, go first.
Yeah, so I've been running an agency for a couple years, been working with Christian now over a year and a half, if not more. And I recently just pivoted over from a done-for-you agency helping real estate agents generate leads, Facebook ads, things like that, to now selling AI agents done with you, which, oh my goodness, the scalability, because not only are we selling it, but on top of that, using it for our own agency within our funnels. We have low ticket funnels. It's booking appointments. And then also for the agents now and for the realtors, our clients, they see it and it's crazy. It is crazy.
What made you make that pivot to AI agents? A lot of people are thinking like, oh, is it a shiny object?
No, 100% not. Because the thing is that it builds a moat around your business. I think the biggest thing for me was just like when it comes to, for instance, selling Facebook ads, lead gen, things of that nature, they've seen it, they've heard it, and like obviously there's ways to objection handle and sell past it, all this stuff. But this is actually not just something that is a unique mechanism in itself. On the marketing side, sales side, it's something they haven't seen before. So it's super unique, and they're like, whoa, I actually really like this. But on top of that, on the actual fulfillment side of things, it actually works. And it's so good to where we have a client who he's spending 10, 15K a month on his ads, paying 5 ISAs, and we're completely removing all of them with AI agents. And it's just to be able to do that to where it's just such a no-brainer. Once again, both on the offer side, but also on the fulfillment side. Now he doesn't have to manage 5 people, pay 5 people. It's just, it works all around.
Okay, but the person watching this is wondering, like, why should I listen to James? Like, how much are you making?
Yeah.
Where do we start? I think that's a good point.
Yeah.
And what you're on track for this month.
Yeah, so I started working with Christian. I mean, I was doing a couple grand a month. Got up to 10K, was hovering around 10 to 20-ish K per month for a while at Done For You. And then I pivoted to now Done With You and also the AI agents. And once I pivoted to AI agents, these realtors, they just like, it blows their mind. And it's, oh my gosh, we've done so far 16.9K month to date. It's currently August 15th. So yeah, on track for $1,000 a day plus month, 30, 40K.
How old are you?
19.
You're 19?
Yeah.
You're not 20?
We turned 19 now.
He's a teenager. Still, technically. You're on track for a 30K month. One of the big things that I want to mention real quick is that the big reason why making that shift to AI agents, one of the biggest things is that it allows you, this is something I've mentioned to you, it allows you to provide a done-for-you solution in a done-with-you manner.
Yeah.
Right? Because the AI agent will do the appointment setting for a client. What is required on your end?
Nothing.
Copy
10
and
minutes of setup.
It's copy and paste.
it.
You build it once and you copy and paste it, and it's wild. But we'll dive more into that. Now, one of the big reasons why James is about to do 30K this month is because of this guy. So who are you?
My name is David, and I've sort of done a lot of different businesses, but what I do is I do the front end, so it's like the marketing and sales side. I've done it in a bunch of industries, and James and I are in the same area, so we've kind of gone through and revamped the whole sales process, kind of dialed in the marketing and built it around those AI agents. It's like a unique mechanism, a way to differentiate, and it's been doing pretty well.
Yeah. Sick, dude. So what else did you do besides sales? You ran your own agency.
Yeah.
Right?
So I ran an agency. This was back in 2023. So I was in, a program back in the day, not as good as yours, and I was able to kind of get some traction there. So I scaled that agency to just under 50K a month in about 3 months, and then I ran that for a total of about think it was 7 or 8, and then I kind of transitioned into like coming into businesses and let me come into your business.
Let me come into your business.
Bro. I transitioned into sort of doing what I was good at, which is like the front end side. I didn't like the sort of systems and management back end. I like the front end, and so I ended up kind of doing that for at this point probably over like a dozen businesses I've built all the marketing and sales processes for.
So basically, this guy will close anything. Okay. Now, I think it'll be fun. Let's answer the questions in the comments, and you guys can give inputs as well. The first one is from Hair.16Q. Which software do you use to find, scrape, and qualify such a large number of leads? So what I'm doing for myself personally, you guys can talk about what you want, is for myself, I go to this website right here. It's a very low-key website. It's called realtor.com, and it has every single real estate agent along with their phone number by literally just searching any city. If you spell Miami right, and you go like this, boom, you get every agent and their phone number. Now, if you want to scrape like the list of homeowners and stuff, I'm going to gatekeep that software, just being like straight up honest. But if you want to figure something out, you find a way to do it. Go talk to ChatGPT, right? So hopefully that helps you out. Or you can just give me more context and I could help you answer your question. Next question, is this free? Is this free? No. No.
If it was, there's generally a catch.
Yeah. Takes money to make money, brother. That actually ties into this question from this guy. I'm not going to pronounce your name. I have a question. How do you start the business? What laptop, what books, where to find clients? The first thing when I first read this, number one thing I would tell you is to get a job. Like, I think most people starting a business should have a job, dude. Like, cover basic software costs. Like, I mean,
for myself, when I actually started my agency back in 2023, I was still in high school at the time, but every, call it Tuesday, Thursday-ish, it was like 2 to 3 days a week, I was working part-time at Jersey Mike's, just making sandwiches, doing the dishes, all of that. And in my head, I just knew, okay, I need capital, or at least you're at a huge advantage with at least a little bit of capital to invest, softwares, things of that nature, mentors, all of that. So I knew, okay, if I work 2 to 3 days a week, I get paid, I can now cover not just the basic expenses, but also I can get softwares such as for AI agents or go high level, things of that nature, to where it just puts you at such an advantage. You could, in theory, start a business with absolutely zero, but you're going to be at such a disadvantage versus if you had at least some money to come in and invest. It's just that the return that you get for at least having some capital is really, it's huge.
Here's an example. There's two people. Person A works at freaking...
I DoorDashed, Uber Eats.
Person A is a DoorDasher, right? Person B has no job and he's starting a business. Person A uses the money that he gets from DoorDash to pay for Go High Level, Agent Kong, and whatever other softwares to automate outreach, to automate appointment booking. And person A, or the other guy over here, he has no money. So what is he doing? He's manually DMing people. He's calling them from their cell phone. Who's going to win if they're competing against each other? It's freaking just obviously, the person that has a job. So yeah, hopefully that helps you out, dude. What laptop? Any. What books? Any. Ask ChatGPT. Where to find clients, etc. I'm not doing in the money wise. Yeah, I mean, dude, hopefully that gives you enough context, brother, honestly. Can you get Agent Kong in different languages? For example, Norwegian.
Yes.
I asked him that.
Yeah.
He said yes.
Absolutely. And one really cool thing about AI in general is that you can prompt it in your native language. Even if you prompt it in English or you prompt it in Norwegian and then you have an English client or Spanish client, with a simple line that just says, talk in Spanish, you can now have the AI respond in perfect Spanish or perfect, really any language. No matter how it's prompted. So long story short, yes, type a sentence. Hey, speak in this language, and you're good.
Simple, dude. Simple. We're knocking these out. Okay. Is this free? No. Have you tested cold DMs versus cold DMs Pro? That's a good question. I haven't. I'm just using the cold DM software because I got connected with the founder. You could try them both and just split test it. I don't know if you guys find, like, general business advice, like, if you're in between two routes, the answer, like even if you pay somebody to teach you, what are they going to tell you? Well, if they're smart and they're a good coach or mentor, they would tell you to just test them.
Test
because
it.
you really don't know anything.
Yeah.
The only thing you know is the data.
And there's
You know
so
what I
many
mean?
ways to skin a cat just individually. This person likes go high level. This person likes clicks funnels, cold DMs, cold DM.
Yeah.
It's just the only way to know is test. But also one thing that I've realized is the difference between like different. These are very micro.
The
adjustments
marginal
as well.
like 10% difference
Yeah.
in like one software versus another is not worth the amount of time it takes to like mull over, overthink, and like if you just
In
did
most
if you did
cases.
one extra week of like actually using it, like just
Yeah.
you just need like your foundational, like the non-negotiables in my opinion is like go high level, right? Like a good CRM, and then I think Agent Conc's frankly a non-negotiable. It's like it does your appointment booking for you, it does your follow up for you, and it does it for all of your clients. It's like if you don't have either of those, you're kind of nuts. But like outside of that, like a lot of the softwares are sort of a commodity
Yeah.
where you can like you can take one, take the other. It doesn't really matter. So like as long as you got your like foundational sort of fundamental softwares, those are gonna be what like that's what gets you money, and then from there you can kind of just continue to build and optimize.
Yeah. A good analogy of what we're talking about here is the gym. Like,
Yeah.
because you're like super into all the same stuff that I see. I see you liking the same reels as me.
Yeah.
But like, there's a community in the gym. They're the science-based lifters, right? And these guys will lay on the floor and do these stupidest exercises because apparently it's the most optimal thing in the world, right? And you look at any of these big YouTubers, Greg Doucette, all these guys in the fitness world, they'll tell you, like, hey, if you take two people and person A just, all he does is the basic workouts. He does bench, squat, deadlift, whatever. Person B does every optimal workout on earth. The only two things they have in common, or the only thing they both have in common, is the fact that they work out hard, right? They will both get nearly identical results.
Yeah.
Maybe like 90% similar results.
Yeah.
Maybe there's like a 10% margin there. Do you see what I'm saying? That analogy applies to
Absolutely.
business
Yeah.
because so many people they worry about the small metrics, like the little things, right? To its core, what do you need? Leads, appointments, and closing sales calls. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Do you have
And
something to add on
fulfillment.
that?
Basic
fulfillment,
fulfillment,
obviously.
yeah.
Yeah. That's it though.
Or you can be a scammer and not fulfill.
Why did you redeem it?
But it's super similar, bro. Everybody
Yeah.
overcomplicates shit. They overthink it. I say this all the time. That people, back in the day, knowledge was the biggest barrier to entry. Like, just nobody knew how to run a business, right? Now we have Neuralinks in our brain almost that could just tell us what to do.
You go to ChatGPT and then you give the answers to the world right there.
Bro,
At your fingertips.
it'll give you a business plan, right? But why are so many people stuck? Why do
They
you
don't
think?
over- they don't
Let's
do
get
anything.
both of you guys' opinion. Why are most people stuck even though they have access to all the fucking information on what exactly to do?
James, you go first.
I think overanalysis is one of the biggest things. And I mean, that's probably one of the biggest things that used to prevent me from scaling when I was first starting. I think it took me way too long to hit my first 10K month. I did it relatively early, but I knew I could have done it 3 times faster knowing what I know now.
Yeah.
And even recording this video right now is a great example. It's 11:43 at night. We just got back from dinner. It's been a busy day. Christian just drove 3.5 hours
Yep.
over here to Orlando, and he's just like, we're going to film. We turn on the camera. No plan, no nothing. Just get it ripping.
Terrible lighting.
Imperfect action. I think that's one of the biggest things because overanalysis, and I've seen and most entrepreneurs, agency owners, coaches, business owners, people in general, like they'll do that. A lot of people right now would have been like, oh, well, the lighting's not perfect. I'm not at my setup. I don't have my camera. It's late. I could do it tomorrow. Versus, hey, let's get it done. We're just going to do the input.
My 2 cents on that. You're 100% right. I think me filming this video is more of like an example
Yeah.
of anything. Of like,
100%.
did I have anything scripted or planned? But before I press record, what did I do? I said I press record. I said, oh crap! Like we're filming now.
We're live.
Terrible lighting. Like it doesn't matter. And that just that principle alone has served me extremely well. Because I'm not smarter than these guys, by no means at all. I'm probably dumber than them. But all I tell myself is I will put my head through a brick wall and just do the work until I get the results.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think I'm simplifying a little bit too much, but it is simple.
It's very
no?
true.
Do you have
Yeah.
something to add on this?
Yeah, I think the other thing I would just add on is like optimize based off of what other people are doing that works, right? Like obviously you want to iterate, you want to differentiate, and that's how you stand out. But like I see some people like overthinking, like, am I going into the right business model? Am I approaching this the right way? And they're like taking all of this time just like thinking about, optimizing every little 3% here, 2% here. And it's like, just start and start with something that's proven, right? And in
Yeah.
this instance, it's like, you kind of have, generally I'd recommend like one of three routes. You have, if you just want to try and sort of make the easy money without working that much, like something like ecom where you figure out like ads and then it's like a little bit riskier, but if you get ecom working great, a sort of copywriting sort of contractor type of role where you contract and work with other companies,
Yeah.
or what I personally think is the best one and what like all of us did, which is launch an agency. And I think right now the best version of that, right, best mechanism is something leveraging AI for a business.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot we could add on to that. Number one, I learned this from Ty Lopez. He said, when you're getting into business in general, you want to imitate, iterate, and then innovate. I think that's really good.
Yeah, that's
When you
really
start your business, you don't know anything. And so the best protocol for you to follow is not your own, I would say.
good.
You should imitate what somebody's already done. Like to a T. That's literally what I did with my first
Yeah.
agency. Bro,
Same
I
here.
copied my mentor's business, like
Yeah.
word for word, everything. I imitated. And then when my skill set got to the point where I trusted my own intuition enough, guess what I started to do? I started to iterate. And I said, hey, wait, this could be a little bit better. This script wasn't the best. Right? And then you continue going, you continue progressing, and then you innovate. And then that's when you go big. So that's what I would say, like, for that
Yeah.
part. Like, imitate, iterate, and then innovate. So just copy what's already working. The reason I believe that an agency is the best is because, to its core, what you help people with is getting leads and appointments.
Yeah.
And to its core, if you want to do anything and make any money at all, what do you need?
Leads and appointments.
Leads and appointments. And so if you could just focus on getting good at getting leads and appointments, then you'll make money for yourself and you'll get your clients results. That's how I see it. It's like knocking
Yeah.
two birds with one stone. It's like, hey, let's say I'm going to get good at like outreach, right? Okay, if I get good at it and I get leads and appointments, that means I can get leads and appointments for somebody else doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So I don't have to go learn some other way to fulfill and get them results. I could just do what I did for myself, right?
Same thing here. Run ads for myself. Use AI to book appointments, and now same thing for realtors.
Wild.
Yeah.
That's literally the playbook. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Marketing agency is so simple. It's using sales and marketing to sell sales and marketing.
literally, yeah, that's literally it. And so I would say that was one of the biggest mistakes I made is like I got good at outreach, but then my delivery was ads. I didn't know how to run an ad. It's like
Yeah.
so I had to get good at two skills instead of one. If I were starting over, that's what I would tell myself is like pick one
Yeah.
and get good at it. Pick any way to get leads, content, outreach, ads.
Mm-hmm.
Pick one. Do it for yourself because that also becomes the proof that you can sell that thing.
Congruence.
Yeah, it's like, you're running ads. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
you're on this call because the ad worked. This
Yeah.
is the same ad strategy we're going to use for you. So it's the same type of thing. And then so for the leads, content, outreach, or ads. For appointment booking, use an AI agent. Use Agent Kong, build an AI system, and you can talk more about that. I think that'd be super valuable. Like we could
Yeah.
just hit on this for the rest of the video.
Yeah.
Just, how could somebody build an AI agent? Let's say they're already running an agency, right?
Yeah.
Because I would argue James knows this stuff better than I do. He's the one that introduced me to all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I saw it, and I'm like, holy crap, this
And
is
we're
crazy.
here with the founder now.
We're here with the founder.
Yeah.
So I would say try and provide some value for somebody that maybe they're in the game,
Yeah.
but they don't know how to use AI. They don't know how to implement it for themselves, for clients. Could you help that guy out?
Yeah. 100%. I think the first things first is number one, understand how AI works first. I think if you play around with it, get your hands on it, start understanding just how it works, how to prompt. I think that's a big thing. And utilize ChatGPT even when it comes to installing things like Agent Kong really, really helps just like number one, prompt things correctly and make sure that the flows are intact. But I think when it comes to the actual tactics on implementing it, first things first, I highly recommend implement it for yourself first, to where you have an agent, to where whether you're running content or whether you're doing content outreach or ads. I personally do ads and a mix of content. But like with ads, for instance, I have someone come in as a lead. Now I have an AI agent reach out to them to then either qualify them first and then book an appointment, or just go straight for the appointment, depending on the flow, whether it's whether you qualify them beforehand or not. But implement an agent into your own business. Use AI to book appointments for yourself, and then from there, by actually seeing it in action and also iterating on it. One thing about AI that a lot of people don't realize is you need to test, you need to iterate, you need to adjust things as you go. But once you get that process dialed in, now you can then go to your clients and build out the same thing for them. And the great thing is once you have it built out, once you have it dialed in, you now have it dialed in for everybody. You could just plug and play, copy and paste it into all of their businesses. And now that's where, and this is the stage that I'm in right now. We've already done 16.9K this month so far, and that's without everything dialed in. Just for context, we're currently in the process of shifting all of my front end marketing, paid ads, retargeting, content, VSLs, all to focus on that AI messaging and actually showing it, because I feel like a lot of people, they hear of AI and it's very known that like if you're not using AI, you're going to be left behind. But when you actually show it in action, how good it is, and it actually booking appointments, it actually working, sounding like a human, it's like you show that on the front end, that's going to attract so many people. It's just like, I want this, I need this. Then you use it on them and then sell it to them. It's just,
That's what I recommend to people.
it's
Like,
a huge moat.
AI is the number one search term in the world right now.
Yeah.
And if you could implement that in top of funnel marketing, it ignites curiosity. It makes people curious. They want to see how it works. Another thing I would add on to that is that if you implement it for yourself first and see the results for yourself, you see an actual AI go and book you an appointment. That's what will give you the proper conviction to go and sell it to somebody else, because you can't sell without conviction. It's the number one thing above any script or anything else. I'm sure you could talk about that over anybody else. Could you sell James's offer without believing in it?
No.
Probably not, unless,
A little crazy in the head.
unless you're crazy. Yeah, like
Yeah.
you need to be convicted in the thing that you're selling to push people to make the decision to actually move forward with something that's uncomfortable and hard versus just staying where they're at, which is being indecisive and just avoiding decisions.
I think that's why Agent Kong is so like. There's a lot of softwares out there. Right? There's a lot of AI softwares. If you're looking for like the cheapest appointment booking software, I could point you to 5 others. But like, there's generally two types of AIs, and I think where a lot of people get this sort of idea that AI is a little bit gimmicky, a little bit overhyped, is when they're using the first type. And this is like the old type of AI, and what it does is it's based off of massive data sets. It gives basically like the most likely response. So by analyzing tons of data without any sort of thought, right, it basically gives like what it thinks the most likely response should be. And what that means is, unlike our conversation here, where I can ask, I could ask James a question. James is going to think about it, process, and then give me a response that, actually has thought behind it, right, and has actual meaning. That's why a lot of AI can seem very hollow, very, very sort of like tinish, right, where you read it and you're like, oh, like there's not very much meaning behind this. It's just like you can tell it's written by ChatGPT.
Yeah.
The thing about Agent Kong, which is like so different, is the system behind it actually process it. So I remember when I saw it the first time, I was like, every single message that's sent, the AI like rolls through all the info on that person. It's like, who am I talking to, right? What type of tone over text am I picking up on? What does the flow of the conversation look like? How quickly have they been responding? Uses that to then map out 5, 6, 7 different responses that would be, potential responses here. Goes through, analyzes each of those, and picks the top performing one, and then runs a couple of test scenarios to see what their likely next response is, because it's trying to get them to that outcome.
Yeah.
And then it sends back that, highest performing text, which, like, frankly, if you're paying an appointment setter, which is like 2, 3K a month, like they are going to be following your pre-cut out responses, like copy and paste, like almost like an automation. Like the level of thought and processing and intent behind this system is just unbelievable.
And
It allows like the booking rates to be from like this, maybe as a 5-10% boost to like 20-30-40%, like unreal amounts of extra cash.
it's crazy. And just for reference, like we've been like as we speak, I'm getting go high level notification, or I'm getting notifications of just seeing people respond and people are booking. I also have an AI agent that's currently selling a low ticket product for people who opt in but don't purchase. And it's just absolutely crazy. I'm watching it live time, handle objections. Like, oh my gosh, conversate with these
People will be like, I really appreciate the personalized touch. There's so many AI and automations out there these days. I appreciate the fact he answered so many of my questions. The AI response, I completely
They have
get it.
no
It's-
idea.
Yeah, like, it's
crazy.
It's actually unbelievable.
And that gives so much conviction too, just seeing it work and seeing it live. And I'm like, it just handled 3 objections and then booked someone in while I was just at dinner eating steak with Christian. And it's just mind blowing to where, David, what's the close rate been recently? It's been nutty.
It's like 80%.
80%.
That's wild, bro. It's like an Agent Kong VSL. I love it, dude. I mean, it's the best thing I've seen.
So,
Last thing I'll add, if you guys want to touch in on this, I think you guys would love this topic. A lot of people say that you can get rich quick, right? Quick example. James, I want you to talk about
yeah.
what your day looked like when you were getting started.
Whew.
You mentioned to us.
Yeah. Because when I started, just for reference, I was 17 or maybe 16, 17. Yeah, I was 17. It was 2023. And I was still in high school. So I was going into my senior year of high school. So I was working on the agency. I've also been into the gym for a little bit as well. Going to school from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. And it got to a point where for at least a 4 to 6 month period, I was waking up at 4 to then go to the gym before school at 5 a.m. Then I would go to school, get back at 3. From there, 2 days a week, two weekdays and then a Saturday. I then had to go to Jersey Mike's and work from essentially when I got out of school to 9 p.m. And then after 9 p.m., then I would get started on work. And for the other like 4 to 5 days a week, then I would go to the gym in the morning, 4 or 5 a.m., go to school, get back at 3, then take sales calls. Oh my goodness, call my leads. Then after all that, 10 p.m. I was ending some of these calls at 10 p.m. because I start at 3. If my workday starts at 3, it's like I'm at a huge disadvantage. I was taking sales calls some nights till 10, 10:30. People in California 3 hours behind. And then from there, it's like, okay, I'm done with sales calls. I'll eat. And then it's like, okay, now I got to get to work. I'm still building out my ads, building content, actually working on the business, fulfilling for clients, all this stuff. And I was probably operating off of a good 3 to 4 hours of sleep for at least a 4 to 5, 6 month period. That was every single day to where it was just dialed and dialed and dialed. And I had to be. There was 0 time to bleed whatsoever. In my high school year, I literally never did a single piece of homework, and I was chat GPTing all of my schoolwork because I'm like, I don't have time to spend on this. In class, I almost failed one of my classes, which would have like made me not pass senior year because the teacher would always get so mad at me working on my business in school. I was fulfilling for clients and things of that nature because then it's like, okay, I'm either working my job to then pay the agency bills to then work on the agency, or I was taking sales calls 3 p.m. to 8, 9, 10, and then having to work on all the other aspects of the business. It was, whew,
The point is, that's not normal. How old were you at the time? 16, 17?
17. Yeah.
What I would say, it's not normal to do that. And I think the reason that you did that, I was going to ask you, what did you sacrifice, right?
Yeah.
The answer, in my opinion, would be everything.
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 Absolutely everything that wasn't the agency. All of my friends, any social events. I didn't go to my senior or junior prom, anything like that. Holiday, like genuinely everything. Like if it wasn't the agency, it's just I didn't have time for it. And it wasn't even this big like thing. It was just like I can't. If I'm trying to build this and I have all these other things, high school and then all this. It's like I have like it needs to only be that. And I think that comes back to like what a lot of you hear a lot of people say is it's not what successful people do, it's what they don't do.
Mm.
And I think that was a big, really, really big part of it.
And the interesting part about that is that his story is not uncommon. That like beginning period, getting off the ground. If I say my story when I was starting, be a similar story. I bet I don't even know your beginning story. I bet it's just similar, right?
Yeah.
It's very similar. Everybody that's gotten somewhere at all, if you even want to call it success, has gone through something similar. And if I could leave you with one thing, it's probably that none of us wanted it. We didn't want success. We didn't want to get there. We needed to. Am I right to speak for
Yeah.
all of you on that?
Yeah.
We needed to. That's the only reason you slept 3 hours a night.
Absolutely.
You didn't want like, hey, I want. Everybody wants the same things that we want.
I maybe
We
had
needed that shit.
As Ronnie Coleman said, everybody wants to look like a bodybuilder, but
Ain't
nobody
nobody
wants to
wanna
live
live
this
no
heavy ass weight.
heavy-ass weight, man. But it's real, bro. If you
Yeah.
want to crush it, dude, it needs to be like the North Star to your life. Like it should come before everything. That's in my opinion.
yeah.
When you're starting, even now.
And I've had friends, so many. It was a small handful back in my hometown with me where they would see me doing this and they would dabble and they're like, yeah, I want a Lambo, I want all this stuff, I want to make money, all this stuff. And they would maybe dabble in something or, oh yeah, how'd you do this? And I tell them and they do a little bit, but then it's like, oh, okay, but then they're going out on the weekends, they're hanging out with their friends all the time. They're just not willing to sacrifice
Mm-hmm.
anything. And it's just now they're just not there.
Most people aren't cut out for this, I would say. That's like real stuff. No
Yeah.
guru is gonna tell you that. The guru, you know what the gurus are gonna say? They're gonna say
Anybody can do it.
Everyone
they're,
can do it.
they're gonna say if you use my system, you're gonna get rich in 30 minutes a day. Yeah, bro, tell that to us. Like, you know what I mean? Not everybody's cut out for it, but those who are and those that need it will get there. I think that's a good way to end it. What do you guys think?
I
Yeah,
think that's a great way to end it.
Yeah,
100%.
I'll drop their links, their Instagrams down below. Thank you for watching. Comment down below because I'll answer it tomorrow, and I'll see you real soon, my friend. Peace.
Peace.
Cheers.
There we